Alrighty, Cat. Oh, Cheryline. Hey, whatever it takes, I just have to kind of let this get out of my chest, so to speak, after the Mother's Day adventure into this church that I've just been attending a few times. So I guess my church history has been very long and arduous and kind of a little tumultuous because I got saved by Jack Hayford. But however, I learned a lot. I really did, because I did not want to be religious, so to speak. But the spirit of religiosity finally got me. The folks at the church on the way did not like me. I experienced that a lot. Put it that way. I sort of want to just stay on the lighter side. Anyways, not to get into it, like too serious of a topic. I did go to this church because, people have been telling me, oh, you got to go, and it's a free spirit of a congregation. A lot of artists. Of course, there's a lot of artists in this town. This is LA, right? Anyways, so what I wanted to just talk about briefly is that Saturday Night Live skit of Sam Kinnison. So you have to have seen it to know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you'll be like, oh, what the hell is she talking about? I kind of got hooked on this little skit called Preschool. I know, it's just like, I was not a fan of Sam Kinnison when I was younger, because I didn't appreciate the screaming, maddening, psycho, right? But then I guess it was fascinating that later I learned that he was in fact a preacher, an evangelical preacher turned comedian. And I suppose the fame and, the money and all that sort of, make him to become, I don't want to say diabolical, or the word would be like a little bit of blasphemous, because I knew some of the jokes that he said later on. I go, oh, that's gonna get you nailed, because I remember I seen one thing like he dressed like a prince of the darkness, or with a big long jacket, a raincoat or something. This guy's always bizarre, but it was just describing about, hey, Jesus have not spoken in 2,000 years, and the last thing Jesus said was like, So the way he did it, as if Jesus, of course, died on the cross for us. But I believe, just to get a laugh, that was sort of blasphemous. So I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with these sudden brutal death. Howbeit, I don't want to criticize the guy. I was just watching that preschool, that skit. You have to see it. Maybe I'll put it in the link or something, in order to really kind of appreciate what's going on with being a parent. I mean, I've never been a parent, right? Because my parents sort of ditched me when I was young. So I could not really comprehend. I just thought it was a funny skit that Sam Kinnison was this teacher in so-called like a preschool setting, and the yuppie parents come in. It was by Kevin Nealon and I don't know, the other actress. They were great. And they were just like, oh, we're so excited. We're going to talk to Sarah's teacher. And Sarah's teacher just disappoints them, right? Like, your kid is a retard, right? Like, she's really stupid. So, I mean, with that said, you have to watch it and say, wow, it's hilarious. But how big the hilarity really did not like come to this total realization until I went to this Mother's Day Sunday at this particular church. I don't want to say the name just in case, I'm not afraid or anything. Because, supposedly we're all artists, we're all kind of crazy people anyways, right? And I only been to this church like 3 times. Howbeit, I did notice there were a very gorgeous pair of lady and a guy. They're like, I would say maybe part of pastoral staff. and I would say they were like Ken and Barbie, just a perfect couple, right? Gorgeous hair, and you would think that, you know, she's a known actress. But anyway, so very outgoing and charismatic couple, right? But they never really, I guess, preached, because now the pastor is away, supposedly. I'm not sure what happened, but a lady came up to stage. So I go, yeah, great. You know, it's Mother's Day. I do like to hear what the lady has to say. And I guess it was a good message about how we're created in God's image, and God is very creative. So it's about being like cultivating some kind of creativeness in yourselves. And she used examples of like children are very creative. I think she said like kindergarten children were tested. 98% of them are creative. Like, I don't know, I guess there's probably a measuring method for that. But then she said, but when you grow to be adults, you're less creative because you're worried about what other people think of you, or constraints of criticism. So the adults are only 2% creative. Like, oh wow, that's well, okay, that's an eye opener. Anyways, as the message go on, I mean, yeah, it's great. I mean, she's talking about like when she was a child, she was very creative. She thought like imagining the whole backyard is her Willow, the movie. So I just thought she must be an actress. And then at one point, she ran down the stage and grabbed a plate. I'm not joking. Literally, I don't have that plate. Like this, they were stapled together, and she run up to the stage. I mean, my jaw just dropped, right? And because she was excited, waving this plate. It's a paper plate. It's like a 2-penny paper plate with some, you know, little doodle on there, just like this, a big, probably bigger. Anyway, she grabbed it from her husband. She started waving it. She said, "Look at this! My son did this in the preschool." I'm sorry, I cannot, you know, I don't have the editing software. I did took pictures. I mean, not to like make fun or anything. I took the picture of her on stage because it just grabbed my attention that suddenly the preschool, Sam Kinnison, came back to me, and I just go, oh my God! I could be a Sam Kinnison, like, what? This is like the genius creation? Like, you gotta be kidding me, right? Howbeit, she didn't stop. She ran back to the stage, right? And she was so excited. I'm not mocking in any sense. I'm just saying I am getting a little bit of eye-opener of what Sam Kinnison's genius perception about parenthood. You see, because again, I have to go back to I was not a parent, right? I was abandoned as a child. I was always to be afraid to have that responsibility and what have you of being a parent. Howbeit, so just to get a glimpse of that, I think that was you know, that's what I'm trying to get at, and not to mock any of these folks. She handed a plate to her husband, the Ken doll. I mean, good-looking guy, long, flowy, like surfer type of blonde hair. She's got long, flowy, gorgeous blonde hair. Perfect couple. I have no qualms about, you know, who runs the church or whatever. He come up on the stage, and he was waving this plate as if it was like Picasso reincarnate, drew something, and it's very similar to this. Anyway, so he was so excited, right? Like just going around and showing off. So I got so curious because I was, even though I was not that far from the stage, I was able to snap a picture, but I didn't know what the heck was going on with this beautiful art. And I was just glued to it. I was like, wow, what's on there? What's on this thing? So I have to really, you know, be very clear that at that time, when I said about Sam Kinnison and the preschool, you know, all that stuff that I thought, oh, I mean, it really didn't totally connect, you know what I mean, until I went outside because a lot of, after the sermon or the church service, everybody stayed in there. They all wanted to talk to her or congratulate her or whatever, right? Because I was looking around the whole congregation. I mean, nobody was laughing but me. But I wasn't laughing like mockingly. I was just laughing because it's like, okay, cool. That you feel that great about it. I would go, yeah, I thought that would, I know my place. I'm not crazy, stupid in that sense. However, I honestly want to ask the question, but I couldn't inside. So when everybody started dribble outside, right, because they have a nice setup, it's a gorgeous view, really. That's $1 million view on top of Mulholland. I'm not joking. I didn't go to that church just for that reason. Actually, I stay away from that church because I thought everybody would be like, and then, got their, right? Thumb up their butts, but they all or pretend to be elegant. And, well, I got to play the game to be elegant as well. But again, I'm looking just please bear with me, not to be sacrilegious or anything. I was just looking at this gorgeous setup, you can take pictures for Happy Mother's Day, that flowers around. This is outside and like a garden setting, and some mothers were going to take pictures of themselves on their phones and everything. So I kind of just want to get a snapshot of that, because I thought it was cool. But how big I captured the image of this mother was dragging the two children. The guy was like the kid, right? He was like, oh, I got crying. And the other kid is a girl that she was trying to run away. In my snapshot, I was first I was gonna post it and I go, oh my God, she was gonna cry. The kid was gonna cry. The other kid was already crying. I go, oh man, that's hilarious. I don't know why somebody said I was sad. I thought, hey, look, I don't want to be PC or anything. If I offended somebody, when I said this, I pointed out, I go, yeah, this is hilarious. They thought it was sad. I just go, well, maybe it's me. I don't know. It's just me, Just think of me as FOB, fresh out of the boat, like, I know nothing. So then this way you won't criticize me, right? I don't really care. But now, I turned around, I saw the preacher lady there, the beautiful Barbie, her son there, and she's holding on to the plate, and I got so curious, I was going to go ask him a question. I did. I asked the dad, I go, what, a paper plate that they drew on? I mean, they can afford a freaking cardboard. I got some cardboard and donate, Just think about you're on the $1 million Mulholland Drive, and they were asking, actually, donations. I guess they're projected so-called quarterly budget is supposed to be $1,200,000, and so far they only got $290,000. It was a projection. So I mean, that's a lot of money. I go, well, my donation probably not going to help very much. Anyways, I'm just saying, if they have a big budget and everything, I just can't fathom, you can afford to buy a cardboard, right, for the so-called the preschool, the children's little artwork. But he did say, well, it's just what the teacher kind of pass it out for the kids to do whatever they want to with the paper plate. So they can use it as frisbee, or they can do whatever, right? Just doodle on it. And I mean, cute kid. He reminds me, I saw the kid who was there, and he was just, stuffing his face with a donut, or 2 donuts and one on each hand. And anyways, I didn't even ask the Barbie lady, but she was so excited. She said, "You want to take a picture?" I feel like I gotta take a picture of it. And then I took a picture of the plate because I could not discern what was on there. And I read it. I feel like, what does it say? What does it say? It says something like, when you have to wait, and it was just badly spelled, right? No, Sam Kinnison Pre School is coming back to me. It says, when you have to wait, remember would be cool. I go, what does it mean? But she's like she looked at me like, what, are you stupid? Like, isn't that great? Isn't that deep, like poetry? I didn't get it. I mean, I didn't think it was even spelled correctly. It was like W-E-N is when you, that, right? And then I asked the kid, I said, you did this? I just sort of like, oh, okay, you, I say, wow, you did this, not question, but sort of, wow, like, you did this? He's like, oh, my teacher held my hand and drew this. So it has like his name, Benny, twice. I go, oh, so that's your teacher's writing. Here you go, yeah, I'm Benny. Anyway, I just go, oh, I didn't want to say that was the preschool. That was stupid Sarah. And again, not insulting them whatsoever, but now, do you get it? This is the psyche of the parents. It doesn't matter if your kid is like, I don't want to say that later on become a Unabomber or whatever, Ted Kaczynski. However, he's a fucking genius. He can't do anything wrong. I mean, I was baffled when I look at the play. I was like thinking, oh my Lord, Sam Kinnison was in fact a genius. So it's not like he imparted a great wisdom. Somehow just because I did not have the understanding as a parent, like, you could do the worst looking doodle and doesn't make any sense to whoever that's observing. However, if you're a parent and it's from your child, you say, well, that's better than Picasso. Can you really? I just thought it was funny, that's all. No, that's all. So, yeah, don't you judge me. And in closing, I still want to go back to what Dan Bongino said. I mean, I just discovered Dan Bongino's show on Rumble. You know why? Because he's censored on YouTube. And I was censored on YouTube. So that's why I watch him, because that's the way that we are. The more that you want to shut me up, or the way you say, don't do this, you try to, like, conform us to a certain kind of mode, which you say, hey, fuck you. I don't care. Anyways, or don't fuck you, or whatever. But go back to what Dan Bongino says, that really, let's focus on 2024. Now, we're going to lose our country if we let this mindless old man, Joe Biden, who's like, who couldn't really figure out he's tender, he's dropping a doogie or whatever. He's got that look on his face. And our country is going to hell. Really in him. But it's sort of speed. There's war like breaking out everywhere. Inflation. And then, people rushing in to our country to just pretty much dilute our votes. Then we're in big trouble. So I want to stay focused on that. Howbeit, this was so impressionable that it impressed me so much because, I lost my mother. And, I didn't lose her. I believe that she is happier and way more happier. That's just beyond what words can describe, right? When she is with Jesus, she is in such unbelievable, just my mind cannot even fathom, right? The heavenly mode rather than suffering. Like, she went through a lot of just unbelievable, painful times. And I'm glad. I'm really glad for her. I would not be glad if she didn't get saved like just 3 years ago and choose to be baptized. You know what I'm saying, right? Because then if you weren't saved, then you're hopeless, I mean, I hate to say that. Hell is an awful place that the flame burns so hot, right? You can't even like jump higher than the flame than the Michael Jordan tried to jump for the hoops. I don't know if that's a good comparison. However, she went to be with Jesus, and that's not just the saying. I mean, to be absent in the body is to be present with the Lord. So I don't even believe there's a cut, like not even a fraction of a second is boom, to be with the Lord. It's glory. But if she weren't saved, oh my God, it's an awful. So when people try to console me, I was like, you really have to see her the last 12 months. I mean, whew, I don't even want to get into it. I mean, something that I'm just discovering that how really precious this body, this gift God has given us if you don't take care of it. Meaning, she was discombobulated because they scared her into getting the shots and really caused the blood clots, right? And in the end, no, and this is true. There was no blood flow because they finally got an ultrasound guy. And I was there when he put this ultrasound thing, and he said, everything is blocked. I said, what do you mean by everything? He said, I'm on the femoral vein area. There's no blood flowing, coming or going. There's just like nothing. So no wonder you get the so-called the Alzheimer, and I learned this phrase, vascular dementia. And this is why you gotta be so discerning of what you put in. I mean, I know they try to poison us with not just the shots, like the gates, these so-called like the fake meats, and just all kinds of so-called the chemtrail. So, I mean, with that said, I can't help it if they try to, try every way to poison us. But if you could avoid it in your body, I mean, I just heard Aaron Rodgers talk about the the addiction to sugar. I couldn't believe this guy, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I thought before, I hate to say that, I did not like the way that he had that deer in the headlight look, like he's always, looking with ice popping out of his skull. But I imagine that's adrenaline. I mean, I didn't know anything about the guy. I just say, because he was a Packers quarterback, and I thought, oh, he's riding on a coattail of Brett Favre. Whatever. I did not like the Packers because they beat the New England Patriots, and when Parcells went there with the big dance, and that's when I first became a fan. And I want to tell you how long ago was that. I just heard Aaron Rodgers talk all this, like everything with conspiracy, like, people say that he was a conspiracy theorist, and when he rejected the jabs, and, like sponsors dropped him because, I suppose the so-called social media platform had been used by, just the government to suppress your freedom of speech. I know all that. I know all about that. I said my mom got their second job against my advice. I mean, I just tried to persuade her. I said, look, I know you're watching whatever it's scrolling, like the toll of death or infection, whatever, and you're like going berserk. I said, but wait a minute, whatever you put in, you already know. I can show you on the website of the Pfizer shots of the warning. It says myocarditis is one thing. I said, you already have this issue previously, right? I mean, because she knew she had the very sedentary lifestyle, eat a lot of junk. So she had all this so-called fibrillation. She got everything, diabetes and some kind of hypertension, high cholesterol. She was taking like 10 different kind of drugs, right, daily. But no, seriously, she was on a rebound after she accepted Jesus. No, seriously, I'm not joking. She prayed a lot, and that helps, right? With meditation, prayer changes your thinking or mind, and helps healing. And then she started doing a lot of like curcumin, just curry. Her neighbor's Indian from India. So neighbor took her to get like curry, which is curcumin. It was doing fantastic. So her vitals, they're all good. Her lab work was normal, and she said, I'm going back to the doctor, Dr. Warren or whatever, that was prescribed me all these drugs. She said, I'm ditching all that. Guess what? So she did it, but then she took the shots, and after that, her heart rate went crazy because the, spike protein just attacked her heart. So what can I say? Okay, gotta go.